At a hearing this week, a judge
That's
ruled
crazy.
McCommon will remain in jail as she awaits trial. It's
Why
the
would she
disturbing
not?
nature of these cases
She's literally
that
fucking
continues
pregnant.
to generate.
What's up with this growing trend, man, of women teachers getting caught up? You know what I'm saying? Because when I was growing up, I remember it was just the dude teachers, like basically like, oh, that dude teacher is weirdo. He tried to hit on the little girl, blah, blah, blah. Lately, these past few months, like I just been seeing teacher getting arrested for going to school drunk. Teacher getting arrested for sleeping with this kid. Bro, I saw this one video where this kid described how the teacher, bro, I ain't even gonna describe it, bro, but like, yeah, it was crazy. Like, you know what I want to start doing? I think I want to start doing like mental health checks or some shit, like as YouTube videos. Just talk, you know, not specific to you guys, but with you guys, you know what I mean? Like, just check in on myself, check in with you guys. I don't know, we'll see in the future, but without doing too much talking, let's watch.
Yet another teacher is arrested for an alleged
sexual
relationship with a student. It's just one of many cases we've covered in recent weeks, highlighting a
what did I just fucking say? 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, man. Know what I'm saying? Like,
pattern emerging of
going crazy.
This time, we're headed to Charlotte, North Carolina, where.
And she's keep it a bean. She's pretty, right? Keep it a fucking bean. You know what I mean? You would never think a person like this is gonna get caught up for sleeping with a fucking kid. It's crazy to me.
26-year-old biology teacher Gabrielle Neufeld is accused of having sex with an 18-year-old student. These accusations all seem to...
Hold on, wait. How old they say?
Biology teacher Gabrielle Neufeld is accused of having sex with an 18-year-old student. These
Y'all about to think I'm so messed up for what I'm about to say. Y'all already know what I'm thinking. 18. Come on, man. Now I take back what the fuck I said.
Wednesday. According to court docs,
now I take back what I said, to be honest.
Intercourse or a sexual act at least 5 times
no, I don't.
since October 18th.
Not about kids. But about between her, like, the dude was 18. Now I'm feeling like,
While the interactions didn't happen at school, they allegedly happened with an 18-year-old male student.
Okay.
After an interview with police, Neufeld was arrested and booked into the Mecklenburg County Detention Center. She was later released on $75,000 bond. This power dynamic...
$75,000, what's that? $7,000? $7,500? Like I said, bro. But now I'm thinking, like, maybe, like, you know, now it depends on how long she knew him before he turned 18. You know what? She's a weirdo. We'll just leave it at that. She's a weirdo. Yeah, he's 18, but whatever.
Extensively at Law and Crime Network, as handfuls of similar cases have made the headlines since the start of the school year. But experts like forensic psychologist Dr. John Delley say this shocking pattern has existed for years.
In the 90s, 80s,
I'm telling
and 70s.
You, bro, imagine what was going down before cameras and on social media, bro. I'm telling you, bro. The early 1900s niggas is going to school. 1800s niggas going to school. Bro, humans are nasty. You really think about it, bro? Like, if you could think about anything, like the craziest thing in the world. Think about it, right? Like a teacher sleeping with a student. If you could think about that, it probably happened before. Like humans are weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
early on, all of these things were happening. These things have been happening since there was a teacher and there was a student, right? So from the beginning of time, abuses like this have been occurring. But the technology wasn't there to engage.
I'm kind of mad right now because she's pretty, and I'm mad because I'm fucking mad, bro. Stop showing her pictures.
In contemporary times,
because I want to be mad.
Having an
Stop showing her
online
pictures.
relationship and having an offline relationship are almost the same thing, and so you can.
Because I remember, my math teacher, I forget her name, but she was built crazy, like
fucking text, videos,
not like
being
sexy.
One another.
He says the inappropriate relationships.
Not to make fun of her, but like
student-teacher dynamic.
This is, you know what I'm saying?
Gradual
Look at the kind of teachers they get, bro.
Darker.
It is a pretty big jump, and it's a jump that actually happens over time, right? It's not one single jump.
Sick.
It's one little tiny little hop from one step to the next. Now, remember, some individuals actually do get sexual gratification from engaging in this behavior. So part of the thought process is also coupled with a physical gratification that the person is receiving from engaging in this behavior. It's also psychological in that they're getting attention from the victim. So there's a lot of dynamics that are at play when it comes to convincing the person that what they are doing is the right thing. They always know that it's wrong. They've always known, and they always will know that the behavior is wrong.
I think in her mind, she felt like shit. He's 18.
Just don't care anymore.
And it's that careless nature that we've seen much of in recent months. We've covered the story of Peyton Shires, the 24-year-old social worker now accused of having sex with a boy she'd been assigned to counsel. Authorities in Ohio say Shires recorded videos of herself having sex with a boy. Investigators found that evidence on the boy's phone, and Shires admitted to the relationship while she was on the phone with his mom. At the same time, police were listening in. She's now charged with unlawful sexual contact with a minor. In the case of Ricky Lynn Laughlin, it's attempted rape that put the one-time Missouri teacher in the headlines. Investigators say she invited a 16-year-old student to have sex with her while her husband was out of the home. In Pennsylvania, school counselor Kelly Ann Shute was accused of preying on a 14-year-old boy in his bedroom after his parents left the house. Investigators say the pair had inappropriate relations several times, including in her SUV and her home. California teacher Michelle Solis is accused of having a sexual relationship with a former student and sending explicit photos. 27-year-old Emily Swinkowski resigned from her teaching job in Missouri after explicit photos she took made the rounds between students. She's also accused of sexual assault, as is Cassidy Krause of Iowa, who allegedly sent explicit photos.
They still going. They like,
and had sexual
we could keep
relations
going.
with 3 boys ages 13 and 14. Then there's the case of Alyssa McCommon, a Tennessee teacher who was allegedly pregnant with her former student's child. Just this week, McCommon's bond was revoked following her second arrest. She faces charges of rape, coercion of a witness, aggravated stalking, and harassment. She was arrested in early September for allegedly raping a boy in her own home. She was released on bond, but arrested again when she allegedly reached out to the victim after her release, saying she was pregnant with his child. At a hearing this week, a judge ruled McCommon will remain in jail as she awaits trial. It's the disturbing nature of these cases that continues to generate interest. So we're taking a closer look now at the most recent one, Gabriella Neufeld. So to make sense of the case so far, we're joined now by
Sierra's face. Yes, I did. Can't even lie to you. Ooh, I miss seeing Sierra's face. How you doing, Sierra?
Legal analyst Julie Rendelman. Julie, thank you for joining us.
I'm not here for Julie, bro.
Okay,
let's see your talk.
What struck me about this case, and is what separates it from so many of the others like it, is that the student in this one is 18 years old, so a legal
so she felt like it was cool.
But Neufeld was still arrested and charged. Can you explain that?
That's because you're not allowed to do that because
is where a teacher engages in some type of sexual activity with a student that's also underage. This is unique because the student is 18 years old, and so he is of age. However, the law is quite clear.
How long was he a student under
Carolina.
her?
And in this case,
she could have been preying on him the whole time.
Sexual activity with a student. And what that says is that an individual who is a teacher, who is over 4 years, who is 4 years older than their student, which in this case, the victim was 18, and the teacher was, I believe, 26 years of age. The law prohibits any type of sexual activity between the two.
She now faces 5 counts of felony sexual activity with a student by a teacher. That charge that you just explained. But is that different?
She's got
than
that
rape?
felony
is it
charge.
Less severe?
It is less severe. It's still a felony. They classify it in that state as a G felony.
She's losing her job, teaching job. Never going to be a teacher again. I mean, felony. You know what I'm saying?
Difference is the amount of time an individual can get if in fact they're found guilty. In a case such as this, the defendant is potentially looking at up to 47 months. Whereas
her life
in
is
the typical
fucked,
cases
bro.
we would
Imagine
see,
her life
you would
is
have an
fucked,
expectation that the potential for imprisonment is much higher.
It sounds like
That's
a lot
tough.
of this case is going to rely on what this 18-year-old student has to say. Would you say that he would need to testify?
You would expect that he will. Now, keep in mind, there might be outcry witnesses, individuals that he told what happened. There might be witnesses. We expect that when an individual is raped, that it's done in a private location, but you never know what the evidence is going to yield. There may be, which we don't know yet, there might be texts, there might be videos, there might be emails that don't require him to necessarily testify. Keep in mind that no matter what his age is, if it's a student and it's a teacher, and there is an age difference between at least 4 years, consent is irrelevant to this charge.
What happens if this 18-year-old is not cooperative and he doesn't want to testify at all? I know that you mentioned he doesn't necessarily need to, but do prosecutors need his cooperation to move forward?
I think anytime you have a case, particularly where it's involving two individuals, it is important for the prosecution to have the victim on board. That doesn't always mean they're always on board. Can the prosecution go forward without that person? Well, they can certainly subpoena them to testify and require them to, or they can potentially see if there's other evidence besides what the victim would have to say that can support any type of charge against the teacher regarding what happened with this student.
Now, from the prosecution over to the defense side, if we're looking at the defendant in this case, Gabriella Neufeld, what could her defense look like? How would she combat these 5 charges?
She's not,
bro. It's so early on in the stage, at least from the knowledge we have. So we don't know how strong their case is. We don't know if the victim is cooperating. We don't know if someone else came forward to say what happens and the victim's like, I don't want to be involved. And so from the defense perspective, of course, their best position would be if the victim does not want to cooperate. Their best position would be if there are no texts, there are no emails. And if the texts are potentially innocuous, they might argue that this was just a flirtation and this was nothing more than that and didn't rise to the level of a felony.
Could it be a Neufeld
But what do you mean it can't?
Best interest
to
take a plea deal rather than go to trial with this case?
So, Sarah, it's so early to even think about that. And again, we don't know what the defense knows.
It's a felony.
Frankly,
it did rise
the
to that
defense
level.
may not know what the prosecution knows right now. So it's so early in the arrest. It's so early in the investigation. Obviously, when someone decides if they're going to take a plea, the reason they take a plea is if they think that what's being offered is better if they were to go to trial and lose. So I think it's going to take a bit of time and really for the defense to see how strong the evidence is. And also if there's any mitigation. Does the defendant have mental health issues? Are there anything that would somehow lessen the blow of quite frankly, what many consider quite a horrific crime?
And we're talking about how recently this investigation began. It was just this week that these allegations came to light. And
has no real basis or belief on the part of the judge that they're going to flee.
For joining us and bringing us more information about this case.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
We will continue to cover Neufeld's case as it moves forward in legal proceedings, bringing you the latest updates in this and all other cases like it. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed that video, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and catch y'all guys in the next video. Peace.